Hi, Shelly here. I'm keeping it simple in my art journal this week. I'll create a fun background using a gel print and a stencil. Then I'll collage a pumpkin using some painted papers. I hope you enjoy this video, that it will inspire you to break out your art supplies, go through your stash, and get creating. So let's get started. This is the gel print that I chose for my background, and I want to paint my background a color that is going to go with this, but not overpower it, you know. So I want to make this, I don't know if you can see it here, but this background blue color, I think, because I've got a lot of green going on here. So I think I'm just gonna wing it here and see if I put out some bright blue, some green, I'm just gonna start messing around until I get something close, which I think I already am. I think that's really good right there. All right, I know I'm gonna need more of it, so let's go ahead now that we know we're on the right track. And I'm not worried about mixing it up 100% perfectly, because I want some variance in my background. I don't want just one color. All right, I like it. So let's go in with a chip brush and just paint that on really quick. All right, I barely had enough. Okay, so now what I want to do, just to add a little bit of, so it's not all exactly the same. I'm going to get out a little bit of my light green and my navy. And I'm just going to get a little bit of my green and my navy. My trusty baby wipe. Definitely on the bluer side, but I'm okay with that. Oops. But I think that is going to be a nice blend right there. Maybe could go a little bit more on the green side. I already used the rest of my blue, my blue-green mixture to make my baby wipes beautiful colors to hang up and dry and use later. So I've got to mix up a little more. And then I want to do, my second color is going to be this green. I don't know about the yellow. I think the green might be enough on its own. We'll see. So what I've got is I've just got a plain circle stencil that I made a while back that I use for different things when I need some circles. And I'm just gonna go through I don't have to because I work on glass, so it's super easy to clean, but it's even easier if I put some wax paper down when I know I'm going to be messy. All right, I like this, but I think it's too big. I think I want to stay on the smaller side because as I cut my strips, I don't know, it might be all right. But I think I'm going to go with a little bit smaller circles from here on out to get more bang for my buck. I feel like I'm taking up a little bit too much real estate from my gel print. I love my gel print and I want it to show that mostly with a little bit of this. And I just want an interesting background that when we cut it up and put it back together is just going to be hopefully a cool looking, we'll see. Hopefully it's going to be very cool looking. In my mind it's really cool looking. When I'm doing something like this, I need to go in with a little bit less paint and then come in with some more if I want to, instead of, I get impatient. I also like to pounce quickly and gently, and I'm not too hard, so that I get a good bit of coverage, but I don't smush it under the stencil. That works for me most of the time until I get a little bit too aggressive or too impatient. Now, since I've gone into the blue with my green, it's not great. So I have two options. I can kind of tap it off over here or onto a paper towel and see if I can get it back to the green close enough. And I think I have. So I'm going to go into the green again. But if I wasn't satisfied with that, I could just snip that off, push my makeup sponge so that I've got about a ½ inch left, and I'm ready to go again. And I'll use these about 3 times. I could get 3 uses typically before I throw them away, which I love. I like how, I don't know if you can see it, but my paint, even you can see the background through them a little bit. Not 100%, but I think it's cool that you can still see a little bit of it there. What if I use my Blistex Herbal, which I don't think they make anymore. It's going to be hard to make that exactly round. But we'll call it good. I wonder if we have anything else. It's perfectly round, but okay, now I'm going to put this in a bag in case I need these colors again. Now while those are drying, I want to get my pumpkin papers ready. These are my coffee dye sheets that I did in my last video. And I think these are going to work. But if they don't, then we'll go get some white pages and do it with that. But I think I kind of want the more, I think this is going to give me the muted kind of, a little more on the grungy side. I don't know, we'll see. So I'm going to start out with my darker yellow. It's a bright yellow that has a little bit of red in it. And I'm just going to, I want to put out varying degrees of orange here, but that go together is what I'm hoping. We will see. And I think I need this to be still too yellow for me. So now I'm going to start off with my lightest and get some water and just brush this all over. And I don't want these to have much more than paint on them. I don't want them to be I mean, you could go in with stencils or doodling or whatever, but I really want these to be kind of plain with just the color and the paint, is what I'm thinking. I might change my mind at some point, but that's what I'm thinking. Okay, now for my next, let's put a bunch more orange in. Add our kind of burnt orange, which is really my favorite color of orange. That's why I make a big bottle of it, because I use it a lot. Is it too close to that one? A little bit. Let's put a little more red in this one, see what that gives us. Next, let's go even more red. And then this one, I really want to go on the red side, I think. Or do we want to just go full on orange? Go look really quick. What if we put just a little bit of this in here? I think there's enough variance that this one will be okay. And then just lighten it up with a little bit of my yellow. Let's stop there. Put this in a bag. Okay, everything is dry, and I am now cutting up using my paper trimmer to cut just a little bit less, because I had some white on this edge, so I cut that off. Now I'm cutting these just a little bit less than an inch. You could use scissors, a ruler, and pencil lines on the back. You don't have to have a paper trimmer, but I enjoy the paper trimmer for this kind of thing because my lines are much straighter. And now we got to figure out how we want to put these on. I do not want to put them on in the same configuration. I want to turn them all different ways. All right, I think I like that. What kind of spacing do we want between them? I don't want to measure it and get all perfect with it, but I'd like to get an idea. Maybe 1/4 of an inch. There's some places where I've got more than that, so it's probably going to get wacky at the end, but if it does, it does. It's an art journal page. I don't want to get all crazy with it, but because I do have quite a bit of paint happening here, I am going to put a little Mod Podge into my cup. I water down my Mod Podge. I like the way it behaves better when it's watered down. It's not sticky when it dries. Oh, I think I'm kind of moving this way at the bottom. That's not good. So Now I'm trying to straighten these out. Gradually a little bit. Maybe we can get this side straight. This side's all going this way. Scooch that over a little bit. See, you couldn't do this with tissue paper. That's one of the reasons why I love the deli paper. You got a little bit of, you can't go crazy with it, but you got a little bit of working time. You can move it around a little. All right, now I'm going to come in with a baby wipe. Okay, now we dry. I thought, you know, I'd like to do possibly a leaf or two and a stem. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 more painted sheets. I've got a little bit of my lighter brown and then a little bit of burnt umber. I've got a little bit of my olivey green here. Okay, my page is almost 100% dry. It's still a little bit, I mean, I can touch it and everything, but I can tell that it's still not 100% dry. But I just need to kind of see what I've got. And I was trying to figure out how big I want my pumpkin. And I thought because I'm tearing it, I want to have a template. So I got out some old construction paper and drew out my pumpkin to see kind of what I'm thinking. Is something like that, okay? With the stem on top. And then I've got my stencil from my pumpkins canvas, and I'm going to use this stencil with the leaves and the tendrils on it to see if I want to do that as we go. But right now I just want to, I think that's the size that I want. I'm gonna set that aside till those papers are dry. And then I've got to decide what colors I want to use where. This one, this orange turned out very similar, so we will put those on the edges, I think. And then yeah, because I don't want this orange near either one of these. This is a little bit too close, I think. I think we're gonna do it just like that. So what I think I'm going to do is outline this roughly, but bigger than what my, because I want this whole thing to be torn and look rough. So I'm going a little more, probably not a 1/2 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch around. And then I'm going to cut this out. And now I can come in and just tear that 1/2 inch away all the way around. And I like to hold with my thumb and my middle finger on my left hand because I'm right-handed. And then I like to tear with these 2 fingers. Gives me a little bit of control. I mean, you know, you're not going to get it perfect, but it gives me a little bit of control. It's a little harder to tear things that are bigger pieces, I think, I find. But it helps a lot if you can cut them down to size a little bit. See if we can get our papers dry. I want my stem going that direction. Kind of dig that thing. I like the airmail. I think we're gonna go right in there. And also, if you tear forward, you get that white edge. If you tear away, it's a different look. So, but I want that white edge in this instance. All right, so I think what I want to do is take my spray bottle of water. Let's do a tester first. Make sure this is gonna work. And I'm thinking I want to, just after I dried those, right? And I think I want to crinkle these up. I think I want them crinkled. That didn't damage anything. The paper's a little stronger with the paint on there. And I want to be careful I don't go crazy with it. Hopefully I can do these without tearing those stems. All right, I think that's pretty good. Hopefully we can get it all together. Now I'll get that baby wipe. And once again, we dry. I think I'm going to take my General's scribe ball and go around my edges. At first I didn't want to do anything, but now, especially because my leaves kind of blend in, I got up a little too close to my green in the background. So I'm just going to quickly go through and define my edges a little bit. I thought about using my oil pastels, but because I wanted my line to be a little bit thicker, but not as thick as my oil pastels are going to give me, so I decided this might be the better option. I had a blast making it. I hope you'll go through your stash and pull out some papers and try something like this. And I'd love to hear about it if you do. If you want to leave me a comment below. And I hope you'll join me in my next video. Bye for now.